Hello everyone, welcome to Trade. Today we're going to be seeing the Nifty and Banknifty levels for 11th Wednesday, 11th May. What I have opened here is the 15-minute chart of Banknifty. Let's just see the possible entries or the trades that we could have taken today, and then see what are the possibilities that are there for tomorrow. I'm just opening a 5-minute chart of Banknifty, and I'm going to put on all the pivots along with this Camarilla pivot. See, initially in the morning, the moment we got this rejection from this Camarilla H3, kind of had a feeling that there was a good scalp from here to the CPR, but kind of had a feeling that if the CPR and this trend line breaks, as per the Camarilla setup, we could hit 34,100, but we exactly reversed from the CPR on the upside. And this is the same thing that I posted even on our Cosmofade group, that we could get a dip if this breakdown happens, but that breakdown never came. And the best trade for the day on the long side was when kind of this trend line broke. I missed this trade when kind of this trend line broke on the upside. By the time I came back to my screen, this up move had already come. So like the way I trade, I always look for that one particular breakout candle, right, to enter. There was a beautiful this triangle broke, and then we ended up hitting the R1 on the previous day high of CPR as well. This was a nice good trade. Missed that. Then almost at the end of the market, close to 245, when I least expected we would get a nice trade. But see, when I was kind of observing this trade, right, I just seeing whether we are going to hit the CPR R2 or so. There was a nice resistance over here, right? This resistance line I had already marked, this purple line that is there. Let me close everything. This purple line, right? Exactly, the price took resistance there, and at this point when I checked, there was a nice divergence. The price was making a higher high and the indicator was making a lower low. The same was explained on the Sunday video that I had put up about the divergence. And since the divergence was only on 5 minutes, did have a check even on the 15 minute. Even on the 15 minute there was a divergence. Like you see the price making a higher high, but the indicator was almost making a equal high or a lower high. So this is also a divergence if one makes an equal high and the other makes a higher high. So on this 3-minute time frame, I saw this nice evening star, so attempted an entry over here with this level as the stop loss, and exactly took my profits when this trend line hit. This black trend line is nothing but what I'm tracking from past few days. So even in the morning we kind of expected this trend line to break and the dip come, right? So this trend line has taken support so many times, and as we were at the end of the market, as we were almost like, what is the time? It was almost 3 o'clock, right? So the moment this hit and this green candle came, I came out. This was a good scalp. This was the only thing that I could do. But according to me, the best trade was this, when kind of this trend line broke, or if this black line and the CPR had broken, this also would have been a really good trade if it had happened. So this is of the trade possibilities that was there today. Now let us see the trade possibilities for tomorrow. I'm coming back to a 15-minute chart and turning off the CPR. Okay, and this is a chart where I have my monthly CPR. You see these cross lines are nothing but the monthly CPR, and here what I want to show is, and this is the hourly chart of Bank Nifty. So just to kind of see the overall view, see, we broke on the monthly CPR, we have broken the previous month low and S1 of monthly CPR, and had a nice retest today. This was a nice bearish candle on a 1 hour chart also. So my view is, in this month we should be hitting this level. We might, it's not like should, there is no should in the market. We might hit this level, that is 33,585, before we get a good bounce on the upside. Or if this level breaks, right, that is, there's a monthly CPR here, that is what, 34,800. then probably we can even go closer to this, what is this, previous month low, and even back to the CPR. And just to give a small gist about this monthly CPR, so you just put this on the chart and do some back testing. Whenever the market has turned from either a bullish scenario to bearish scenario, it has come from a monthly CPR level. One beautiful example was in Feb. We went, hit R1, then the market became bearish. Then this is the March where the war news came in, right? There was this war news and all that, so we had a dip, and from S2 of monthly CPR we reversed back to, so even on the monthly time frame the CPR works beautifully. And this was in Jan. From the CPR we almost went until R2, and from here we again took a turn. And if you keep back testing, you will see that a lot of times the market takes a turn at the monthly CPR level. So that is what I'm expecting, that the market to come this to this level and turn. But obviously we're not going to trade blindly and build, like just take an entry and wait until here. It all depends on the price action, but this is my view for now. And if this level breaks on the upper side, see there is one nice gap over here, even that could get filled. I'll be showing you that on the other chart. And if this previous month low breaks, then we might even go and hit the CPR again. So still we have a lot of time in this month, almost 2.5 weeks of trading is left, but this is just one of my views. See, today when this bullish candle came, it did look like, now let me just see, when this bullish candle came, right, it did look like we could break this CPR level and go up, but exactly from there we got a nice sell-off. If you see even on the lower time frame, you can see exactly almost from that monthly CPR S2, S1 of monthly CPR is where again a sell-off came on the downside. So this is just my overall view for the next few days. Maybe this 33,500 won't even happen this expiry, probably next expiry maybe. We'll have to wait and watch. Now just coming to our intraday levels for tomorrow, one thing is for sure, this level in Banknifty, this is a 15-minute chart, Banknifty for tomorrow, this level has a very good resistance, that is 34,782, what I'm marking here. If this breaks on the upper side, we could fill this gap at 35,000, or we also have the, let me just put on the tomorrow CPR. We also have this, this is the previous day high, and this is the R1 of CPR. Or am I missing? Okay, we have the R1 and the previous day high at the same level. Got confused there. Yeah, so we have the R1 and the previous day at the same level. If this breaks, we could either hit 35,000 or even probably 35,100. Since this gap is too huge, let's just see if there's any other price action level where we can take resistance. This one is there. I'm going to mark this and keep. There's a possibility we might even take resistance here at 35,000. And for a trade on the downside, if this black trend line and the CPR breaks again, right, yeah, we could see a fall until this S1 of daily CPR. But before that, if I just put off all the CPR, you can see there are some good support levels. So I'm going to mark that in a little lighter purple. One is this, that is around 34,300. The other support is here around 34,100. So these are the, if this trend line breaks, these are the levels that I'll be looking for. If all this breaks, yeah, then definitely this level, but not sure if that will happen tomorrow. And just to also keep an eye on the weekly CPR, as it is Wednesday, I'm going to just put on the weekly pivots. There is a touch of the CPR pending. We'll just verify that. Yeah, see, if this is the gap area, right, this gap area should always be marked. So this is the gap area. In this gap fill, there are so many places where we can take resistance. One is for tomorrow, one is the CPR points. We have the pivot over here, and we also have the tomorrow CPR at, so even if, yeah, this is almost the same. So these are the points where we can take resistance in this gap. One is here 35,000, the other one is 35,080, basically in this range, and the entire gap fill itself 35,100. If in case this level breaks, we get a nice move on the upside, right? For sure, I'm based on my experience, I'm telling for sure we will take some resistance over here, because previously twice we have taken support here, right? So there is a possibility we might take resistance if this gap fills on the upper side. And on the downside, these are the targets for Bank Nifty, and the down trade is only best if this black trend line, what I marked, breaks on the lower side. Now just looking at the global market, see the US futures yesterday had a dip, the US market fell, but today the US futures are up. It's about 300. When our market was going on, it was only about 250 or so. Now it is about 330. And the European markets are also in green. There's some good recovery, and let's just check. The SGX Nifty is indicating a 59 point gap up. So 59 point gap up will exactly put us in this level. If the gap up sustains, it's too early to tell anything about the gap up, right? So if we get a gap up somewhere over here, right, in this area, if we open, the only trade is if this breaks or if this breaks on the downside. In case we get a huge gap up or a huge gap down, then we will be in a little bit of a problem, and we'll just have to improvise in the live market. So this is the Nifty chart, 15-minute Nifty chart, and Nifty, it is pretty clear now. This level is a very good resistance. How many times we have rejected? That is 16,400. If that level breaks, probably we can take resistance again at 16,490, and then this gap fill might happen at 16,600. And any trade on the lower side is if this breaks, 16,135 breaks, probably even 16,000 at this level, we can take some support. And what is this level is based on this price action here. I've marked this level in a lighter color. The lighter color indicates that it might or it might not take support there, and this trend line was pretty beautifully respected today. I had this trend line marked, and kind of in the same place we have taken resistance. So a good break of this black trend line, right, that's when we can probably have a view that Nifty will be bullish. And just to show the importance of the gap, as yesterday I missed out the video. See, in my previous video I had this gap marked, and I did mention even in my Sunday video that if this gap fills, we'll get a nice bounce on the upside. Though yesterday it was a little choppy, but exactly we filled this gap and got a bounce. So the same thing I'm expecting here. If this gap gets filled again, we might see a dip, or if the gap fill doesn't happen, a break of this trend line can give us some good move on the downside. And this is the hourly chart that I've just enabled. This is a pretty strong candle on this hourly chart, exactly rejecting that monthly CPR level that we saw, right? And even on an hourly chart, we have got a nice bearish candle. We'll just look at the open interest for tomorrow. This is the Bank Nifty. So there's a lot of, what do you say, fight or confusion happening at 34,500. See, we have closed at 34,480. Yeah, there's a lot of fight or a confusion happening between 34,500, where today the change in oil, a lot of put sellers have been added, but existing call sellers are there. And a very good support as of now, it is 34,000, and a very good resistance is 35,000. And in Nifty, we do have some support at 16,200, where even today the open interest got added. and a very good support is at 16,100, and a good resistance is at 16,300, pretty much the levels that we have marked. On the chart as well. So that's it for tomorrow. Let's see if we get some good trades for tomorrow.